What's up, guys? Ian here, coach of your Ladner Lanturn, bringing you guys our Week 7 team builder for NCL Season 7 Substrika, taking on Aaron 12 and the Los Santos Sceptiles. We've had a really bad first half of the season. I needed to beat probably a couple of those people that we played in the first half to stand a chance at playoffs. So to say that this is probably going to be our worst season ever in NCL is probably not saying all that much. My last couple of seasons, I've really drafted more of a hyper offense style of team and less of a bulky offense, which is what I tend to prefer with a lot of momentum. These teams have been really lacking momentum. So this one in particular, I don't think was all that much. I just haven't been using it as much. Um, Maybe in needing the move slots for things, or I've been pigeonholed into bringing things like Chestnut, which I didn't really like very much right off the bat. So yeah, haven't been a huge fan of the team, so I did make one transaction. I ended up dropping my final transaction, I should say. I ended up dropping Dracozolt for Slowking, so I lost a little bit of value there, dropping a tier 2 for a tier 3. But I think Slowking offers a lot more to this team than Dracozolt ever did. I already had an Electric, didn't need a Dragon, and the speed tier wasn't really that good for my team. So I think that I ended up with a better deal there. I already had some good physical offense in Cinderace and Lucario, so I didn't really need um, Dracozolt's presence with that, and I think that Slowking will be better as just a defensive pivot. Something that can pivot in, right? Like, I might go back to basics and just try a regen core next season, just so that I can pivot things around and maybe make things a little bit easier on myself in terms of actually playing the game, to maybe open up some holes in my opponent's teams. But let's talk about Aaron's team. He's got Lando I, which is Sheer Force, Raikou, Silvally, which is all of them, Durant, Druddigon, Liepard, Mega Blastoise with no Shell Smash, Galarian Darmanitan, Rotom Heat, Gourgeist, which is all of them, and Alchemy. Priority options, he's got the Raikou with Extreme Speed, Durant with First Impression, Druddigon with Sucker Punch, Blastoise with Aqua Jet, Rotom with Sucker Punch, and Gourgeist with Shadow Sneak. Only two Hazard Setters, the Lando I with Rocks and the Druddigon with Rocks, but a lot more removal. Lando I with Defog, Silvally with Defog, Mega Blastoise with Rapid Spin, and Rotom Heat with Defog. And then 4 times weaknesses are the Lando I to Ice and Durant to Fire. So both of those are kind of covered really well by Rotom Heat. I actually really like that core of Lando I, Durant, and Rotom Heat. I think it's really threatening, both physically and specially, and defensively too. So big fan of that. A lot of his team doesn't seem to piece together all that well to me. Like, it's just kind of weird. He's got some big name threats though, and then the rest of it's kind of middling. Like Galar, Darmanitan, and Lando I are really big threats. In terms of what I don't think is going to come against me, Liepard is like the only thing I think for sure won't come against me. It doesn't really make any sense to bring Liepard to me here. I don't really have... Like, I've kind of got a Dark weakness, but also I don't really, and it doesn't make any sense to try and T-Wave anything with Pranksters, so I just can't imagine that Liepard comes over absolutely anything else that he could possibly bring here. It's a horrific Darkrai check, so I would think I would see Alchemy as the Darkrai check, which is really his only Darkrai check, besides like a Silvally Fairy, which also doesn't really do it. Or Silvally Dark, I guess, would be better in this case, but yeah, I just don't see the Liepard coming against me. I think anything else could. Durant definitely threatens out a lot of my offense with First Impression, and it outspeeds a lot of my offense. Rotom Heat is kind of a wall to Cinderace, which I think is the big thing for Rotom Heat, because the rest of the team doesn't really handle Cinderace very well. So the combo of Cinderace plus Darkrai does tear through this team quite a bit. Mega Blastoise is really hard for me to wall. I'm actually not bringing a single Pokemon that resists like anything that Mega Blastoise could do, but the only option I really had was Regice. My special walling options just have not been good at all this season, so yeah, Mega Blastoise is a pretty giant yikes. I do outspeed it with a lot of stuff though, so that's going to be the key there. And I think that's where we're at with that. Raikou, I've got double ground, so I wouldn't be completely surprised if it came because it does have Scald access here, but I'm not sure that it's the best choice against my team. It could still come, for sure, though, because I do have triple water now, so it might come just for the triple water. Where else? Darmanitan probably comes. I don't really have the best answers to that. I have some answers that could, or some mods that could be answers, but enough coverage just lets it rip through my team. So first up on my side is Golurk. I'm just bringing Bandit Golurk because why not, honestly? Like, the only thing that legitimately switches into Poltergeist on his entire team is Mega Blastoise, and that's because it's a Mega Stone that I would just fail Poltergeist with. Earthquake hits a tremendous amount of this team. The only mons it's not hitting are Lando, Rotom, and Gourgeist. It's just a really good stab option against this team. Dynamic Punch is there probably not for very much, but I just figured it was an alright option if Silvally Dark was going to be the thing coming in on like Poltergeist. And then Heavy Slam is there for Alchemy, so I should just demolish the Alchemy with Heavy Slam. And that's the only reason. I could have thrown like Rocks on or something, but it's banded, so I just want to click a button and then move on with my life. And Golurk pretty much gets a kill almost every single time it comes in. That's the idea behind Golurk. Slowking, I'm running Rocky Helmet Slowking. Depending on if the G-Darm comes, it's probably going to be the lead, if I had to guess. So I have a couple plans for it. Slowking is one of those plans. This pivots into it extremely well. Most of his team is special, so why am I running Rocky Helmet Physically Defensive Slowking? Well, exclusively for that stupid Gallard Arm. I get my regen every single time I switch out, of course. Excuse me. So that's why I'm running Mono Scald with a bunch of Taunt Bait, because again, I don't think Liebhardt's coming, but Slack Off is just there to heal me up in a 1v1 against Gallard Arm. Toxic hits the Gourgeist primarily, which is going to want to switch in, and possibly like Raikou switching in, or Blastoise. And then Teleport is to get me some momentum. So if the Gallard Arm's locked into like Icicle Crash against me, then I can just Teleport because it's obviously not going to stay in. And I have a backup plan if he is going to stay in, because I can just go into Cinderace on it anyways and U-turn back out. But again, I'm fully physically defensive for that stupid Darmanitan. Cinderace, I'm running Scarf Cinderace. I'm creeping Raikou, creeping Gardevoir. So I'm still above max speed Galarian Darmanitan if he opts to go with that for Gliscor. But if the Raikou is creeping Gardevoir, then I will be faster than that Raikou. Excuse me. U-turn, Power Ball, High Jump Kick, and Gunk Shot is pretty much all I need here. Gunk Shot is, again, only for the Alchemy. I'm running a lot for the Alchemy because I really think that Darkrai is probably my best breaker here. And Alchemy is the only thing really stopping it, and I'm locked in with Darkrai. Spoilers, I'm locked in with Darkrai, so I want to be able to kill that Alchemy. But Gunk can also be very useful for Silvally, and if I don't want to take crash damage against Rotom Heat, then Gunk is best against that too. So U-turn gets me momentum. This is kind of my backup lead against Gallard Arm, because I could just lead this against Gallard Arm, click Powerball, and move on with my life, or click High Jump Kick, catch a Blastoise switching in, and then swap out on the Gourgeist switching into the High Jump Kick. But yeah, unfortunately, I need High Jump Kick here for, what is it? Actually, maybe I don't. It was for the Rotom, but I could probably run like Electro Ball or something instead of High Jump Kick. I guess I don't really need High Jump Kick. Let's look at the options. I could run Court Change, but Scarf Court Change is kind of weird. I could run Acro, which doesn't really help me that much, but if I got my item knocked off, it might. Facade, Double Edge. Again, these aren't really doing much for me. It doesn't get the best coverage, excuse me, in the entire world. Iron Head is okay instead of running Gunk. Kind of pointless, though. Scarf Sucker doesn't really make any sense. So I guess I could narrow it down to Zen if I really wanted to. And just have a Psychic, but then I'm walled by Liepard, so pretty much nothing that I would want to run here. Bounce, Scarf Bounce is kind of awkward. If I wasn't scarfed in, I might think about running something else here, but all of these are just moves that I'm already running or would be immune to. So we're just going to leave it with High Jump Kick. I may or may not click it. If I'm in a position where I don't need to click Pyro Ball, then I could more reliably do that. Druddigon or Rotom Heat are both going to be, or one or the other is going to be a Cinderace check, or both. So anyways, the aggressive creep lets me run Adamant, which is kind of cool. Gliscor is Heavy Spadef. This is my Lando I answer. Lando, I can't touch this. I need to make sure that I get my Toxic Orb off, though, because he probably will have knockoff. It's not allowed to have hidden power, but I'd imagine it probably just U-turns on the Glysaur switch in and then brings in Galarian Darmanitan 10 every single time, which is kind of a yikes. But that is one of the reasons why I need to have rocks. I need to get up rocks against this team to chip down that Galardon like a lot. So this is another lead option. If I think the Rotom's going to lead or the Lando's going to lead, then I could lead this. Knock off Roost, Stealth Rock, and U-turn. I'm not actually running Earthquake of my own. I'm wary of a Magnet Rise Raikou, and so I don't want to be walled by that. So knockoff can just 1v1 Magnet Rise Raikou. And then U-turn for my own momentum, and rocks again for chip. Excuse me. I get momentum on a lot of stuff, so I'm okay with this. Darkrai specs with Dark Pulse, Sludge Bomb, Ice Beam, and Toxic. Ice Beam is pretty much only there if I'm worried about like Colbur counter. No, Colbur Mirror Coat. I don't even know if Gourgeist even gets Mirror Coat, but some area in time where I'm gonna need Ice Beam to revenge kill either Gourgeist or Lando. Otherwise, Dark Pulse is just free. Sludge Bomb is just there for the alchemy. I mean, I don't really count Liepard as a Dark Resist, so this team gets obliterated. I'm outspeeding Raikou just in case, so not going with the aggressive creep on Darkrai because I don't really want to. I could creep down and creep like Durant or something. Actually, that's interesting. Why didn't I do that with Cinderace? I think I didn't do that with Cinderace because I'm Scarf on Cinderace anyways, but I'm not Scarf on Darkrai, so I need to speed a little bit more. Toxic's just there's a filler move. I didn't even know what to put in there. I don't want to get rid of my specs, so I didn't want Trick. I could have gone with like Hypnosis or something, but Toxic's just a great filler move, so that's why we're running Toxic. I could have also run Incinerate for Durant, but I guess I'm not doing that. Gardevoir, Trace, Mega Gardevoir with Hyper Voice, Psychic, Mystical, Fire, and Sub. I'm just running a really offensive guard. I can sub in front of a few things, notably things like Liepard, Alchemy, Gourgeist, maybe. If it's going to Leech Seed, then definitely. Blastoise, I might be able to sub in front of. I'm just running a lot of investment here. So Hyper Voice, Psychic is like really strong coverage. Psychic hits the Rotom Heat really, really, really well, and then Mystical Fire is there in case I need to hit Durant, but Durant is really frail on the special side like Kartana is, so I wouldn't be surprised if I can just power through that. This is a little bit too loud for me, and there's a fly in here. Let me just adjust the volume there we go. That's maybe a little bit better. So I can afford to be modest here because when I'm Mega, I get base 100 speed, which means that I'm outspeeding max speed Rotom Heat with this investment. In terms of what I'm not bringing, Empoleon looks pretty bad here. Like Lando and Raikou just pick on it, and it's another Mon on my team where I'm already picked on by Lando and Raikou. So why? No, not bringing that. Lucario could have been okay actually for the priority, maybe more of a special set with like Sash, Nasty Plot, Vacuum Wave or something. Could have been okay. Or Salac or something like that, I'm not sure. Vikavolt, I don't really need webs here. There wasn't really a point in bringing Vikavolt. It was kind of okay as like a Raikou answer, but at the same time it's not that great in this matchup. Quillfish, same sort of thing. It can like intimidate Galarian Darmanitan, maybe get up spikes, but there's some good removal options here, so I didn't feel the necessity of running T-Spikes against this team, even though T-Spikes do look semi-solid against this team. And then Regice is probably my best Mega Blastoise answer, and I'm not bringing it because I'm a choker. So that is pretty much all that there is there. My team is not good. In general, my team is not very good. It's a very top-heavy team. So just kind of looking forward to moving on to next season at this point as we head into the back half of the split. But back half of the season, I mean. But there you have it. That's going to be it for me. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys for the match against Aaron and the Los Santos Sceptiles.